Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Group 5 and we will going to report regarding the ordinances on smoking, about liquor ban, and driving, and so on. Here on Chapter 6, hindi lang about sa drugs. There are also an implementation regarding smoking, liquor ban, and drunk driving. First, as you can see, implementation of ordinances. Ordinances on smoking. The chances of secondhand smoke for non-smokers are minimized by virtue of Land Transportation Ordinance number 2009-036. To make it short, it is implemented. At meron dito is yung cooperation ng iba't ibang agencies tulad ng PNP or Philippine National Police, LGU or local government units ng city and municipal mayors and also provincial governors sa kanilang respective areas. Bakit na ba meron ganito? Bakit meron ordinance smoking? Kasi gusto ma-minimize ng LTO or Land Transportation Ordinance number 2009-036 yung second-hand smoke. Gusto nila ma-minimize yung second-hand smoke sa mga hindi naman ninigarilyo. Correct me if I'm wrong kasi mas malala ang sakit ng mga second-hand smokers kaysa sa naninigarilyo mismo. Kasi yung second-hand smoke can cause coronary heart disease, stroke, and lung cancer in adults who do not smoke. And the 30 minutes of exposure to secondhand smoke can cause heart damage similar to that of an everyday smoker. Next one. Vamos sa next po. Next slide. Ayan. Offenders are apprehended by these agencies. And ayun dyan, hindi ko lang babasahin. Ayun dyan, may mga probinsya tulad sa province of Nueva Vizcaya in Region 2 and Davao City na kapag madami silang nahuli na nag-violate against smoking, mabibigyan sila ng award or incentives at the end of the year during year-end gatherings. Kasi talagang sinunod po nila yung patakaran na bawal manigarilyo at gusto nilang mangyari yung 100% smoke-free para maiwasan yung sakit at para hindi lumala yung pagdami ng mga second-hand smoke.
Drunk driving. Drunk driving has led to many vehicular accidents resulting in the loss of lives and the properties of innocent victims and the drunk driver themselves. The penalty for vehicular accident resulting in damage to property and loss of lives, legally known as reckless imprudence resulting to damage to property or reckless imprudence resulting to homicide, is elevated to maximum penalty due to drunk driving. Hindi ko na po babasahin lahat ng andyan. Magbibigay na lang po ako ng brief discussion regarding the drunk driving kasi alam po naman na hindi lingid sa kaalaman ng lahat kung ano ibig sabihin nito. So, drunk driving, ito yung pagdadrive ng laseng or under the influence of alcohol. Isa ito sa mga dahilan kung bakit sa panahon ngayon marami nang nadidisgrasya at yung iba, worse, namamatay pa. It's because of this situation, may mga napapahamak na tao tulad ng mga innocent victims um, na nadadamay sa disgrasya. Diba? Kahit anong ingat natin sa sarili natin, kung yung ibang tao walang ingat sa sarili nila, wala din. So bakit nga ba kahit may mga nagpo-prohibit na batas dito, marami pa din hindi sumusunod? So according to RA 10586 or the Anti-Drunk and Drug Act of 2013, it penalizes persons driving under the influence of alcohol and dangerous drugs. So sinasabi dito sa batas na to, na kapag yung violations mo is hindi naman nag-result ng physical injuries, papatawan ka ng 3 months of imprisonment at may fine ka na nagkakahalaga ng 20,000 to 80,000 pesos. Kapag yung violations mo naman is nag-result ng physical injuries, the penalty was provided by the Article 263 of the Revised Penal Code and fine na nagkakahalaga ng 100 to 200,000. Kapag yung nakapatay ka naman, yung sinasabi dito na reckless imprudence resulting to homicide, the penalty was provided by the Article 245 of the Revised Penal Code and fine na umaabot ng 300,000 to 500,000 pesos. At maaari rin na ma-confiscate, masuspende at ma-revoke yung driver license mo, depende sa violations na na-commit mo. Next reporter.
Okay, so now let's move on to Chapter 7, Government Agencies Assigned to Control Drugs and Vices. So the Dangerous Drug Board was established following the proclamation of martial law and promulgation of Presidential Decree number 44 on November 14, 1972. So the law, which was an amendment of Republic Act number 6425, was signed by then President Ferdinand E. Marcos. So the Dangerous Drug Board was created after martial law was declared in the Philippines. This happened on November 14, 1972, when President Ferdinand E. Marcos signed PD number 44. So itong PD number 44 is inamendahan ng RA number 6425, which is may mga binago lang na certain sections ang RA number 6425. So according to the PD number 44, the DDB shall be coordinating and policy-making agency and the national authority on matters related to law enforcement and control of dangerous drugs, drug abuse prevention, training and information, the treatment and rehabilitation of drug dependents, as well as research and statistics on the drug problem and the training of personnel tasked to perform this. Since its inception, the DDB has implemented programs to promote the national advocacy against drug abuse through a dynamic partnership between government and the society. So, ang DDB is responsible for organizing and creating rules about controlling drugs, dangerous drugs, and dealing with drug-related issues. So, ang DDB din is siya yung nagde-develop and nag-implement ng mga strategies for preventing drug abuse, kagaya ng pag-create ng mga educational campaigns and programs na nag-i-aim para mas maging aware ang lahat about sa risk na dala ng paggamit ng illegal drugs. Pagdating naman sa mga sa treatment and rehabilitation, ang DDB yung nangunguna. Mini-make sure din nila na may mga available na treatment facilities para dun sa mga taong nalulung na. And mini-make sure nila na magagamot sila through rehabilitation at may ibabalik sila na maayos na sa community. So yung DDB pala is nagkakandak din ng research and nagko-collect ng statistics on drug-related issues para makapag-come up sila ng another solution sa mga possible na magiging problem pa in the future. And then responsible din sila pagdating sa pagtitrain ng mga personnel kagaya ng law enforcement officers, healthcare professionals, social workers, and other stakeholders to make sure na they have necessary knowledge and skills to effectively address drug-related issues or challenges. Next slide. Wait lang. The national agencies that comprise the DDB include the following: the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So yung DSWD, responsible sila sa pagdating sa social welfare programs and services. So nagpo-provide sila ng sa mga minor age ng assistant to rehabilitate them. Then Department of Health or DOH, sila yung responsible pagdating sa public health concerns. Then Department of Justice or DOJ, naghahandle sila ng mga legal matters including the prosecution of drug-related crimes and enforcement of drug laws. Department of National Defense, it deals with national security issues including efforts to combat drug trafficking and related crimes. And then National Bureau of Investigation or NBI, nagkakandak sila ng investigations and gathers intelligence on drug-related offenses to support law enforcement efforts. And then Department of Finance, sila naman yung responsible sa pagbabudget para sa mga programs and initiatives. And then Department of Education, Control, and Sports. So itong agency na ito is nakafocus sa education and youth development, including drug prevention programs in schools and communities. Ito yung mga nagpupunta sa mga schools noong high school at nagdi-discuss about sa danger na dala ng drugs. Next po.
Batas Pambansa 179, a procedural amendment to Republic Act number 6425 was made in 1982 in the form of Batas Pambansa 179, which mandated the itemization of prohibited drugs and its derivatives. Through this law, various forms of narcotics such as opiates, opium, poppy straw, leaves or wrappings, whether prepared for use or not, were classified as dangerous drug. Ito yung batas na nagproprohibit sa mga drugs and derivatives. Ito yung kasama dito yung opiates, opium, poppy straw, leaves or wrappings. Ito yung mga prepared for use or not were classified as dangerous drug. So, dadako naman tayo sa 5-pillar global drug control approach. The 5-pillar global drug control approach consists of the following components. Una dito ay yung drug supply reduction. Ito yung the object is to take away the drugs from the person through market denial, operation, and prevention of diversion from the licit to the illicit market. Ito daw yung nilalayo yung drugs from the person. Susunod naman dito ay drug demand reduction. Itong pillar na to, this aim is to take away the person from drugs. Kung yung drug supply reduction ay kinukuha yung drugs from the person, itong drug demand reduction naman ay tinitake away yung person from the drugs. Pangatlo is alternative development. This aims to reduce the production of marijuana and eventually eliminate its cultivation through sustainable rural development and alternative livelihood programs. Ang pang-apat naman ay civic awareness and response. This concept is to promote public awareness on the evils of dangerous drugs social response by advocating the non-use of dangerous drug production and distribution of information, education, communication, materials, and collaterals. Ito itong pillar na to, nagpo-promote siya ng awareness sa public tungkol sa mga drugs by ina-advocate nila na ina-advocate nila yung mga hindi gumagamit ng drugs. And ang panglima is regional and international cooperation. The intent is to forge and foster cooperation with regional and international agencies, adhering to treaties, formulating agreements, conducting tie-up projects, attending foreign conferences, exchanging drug reports, hosting study tours and field visits, sharing of best practices. Itong five pillars na to was adopted in 1988 during the UN General Assembly Special Session on Drugs by the Asian and China Cooperative Operations in Response to Dangerous Drugs or ACORD, in which the Philippines is a member. Itong five-pillar approach identifies relevant and effective strategies in addressing the country's drug problem, including drug prevention and control. Next reporter, please.
Republic Act 9165, also called the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002, was enacted in 2002. This law aimed to address the issue of illegal drugs comprehensively by implementing various measures, including law enforcement, prevention, rehabilitation, and international cooperation. So itong batas na po ito ay nag-a-address ng mga issue about the mga problema about sa drugs and sa pag-prevent ng drugs. One significant aspect of this law is the expansion of the membership of the board, which is the Dangerous Drug Board or DDB, which is the policy-making and strategy formulating body tasked with planning and coordinating the anti-drug efforts. The expansion of the board's membership to include additional agencies such as the Department of Interior and Local Government, Department of Foreign Affairs, National Youth Commission, Department of Labor and Employment Commission on Higher Education, and the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agencies. By involving the multiple government agencies representing different sectors and expertise, the law aimed to enhance collaboration, coordination, and synergy in the implementation of anti-drug policies and programs. So next, the major projects launched by the DDB is the Oplan Iwas Droga, launched in 1995. The program was implemented to address the growing concern of drug abuse and addiction in the country by raising awareness, educating communities, and advocating for anti-drug initiatives. So one notable feature of the Oplan Iwas Droga is the use of a mascot named Kid Listo. The mascot Kid Listo was introduced to schools and communities across the country as part of the program's effort to promote the anti-drug advocacy of the Dangerous Drug Board, the primary agency responsible for coordinating anti-drug efforts. The Oplan Iwas Droga program aimed to make drug prevention education more engaging, accessible, and relatable to its target audience, particularly to children and youth. Next reporter po.
Mamamayan ayaw sa droga. MAD. MAD is a citizen movement against drugs that became popular during the latter part of the 1990s, a product of the collaboration of agencies which comprise the National Drug Law Enforcement and Prevention Coordinating Center was created in January 1999 by Executive Order Number 61. Ang mamamayan ayaw sa droga or yung MAD, it is the country's anti-drug awareness group. Binubuo ito ng mga mamamayan Pilipino na ayaw sa droga. Sila yung mga gumagawa ng paraan to raise anti-drug awareness. At gumagawa rin sila ng paraan para sugpuin yung mga drug users. Yun lang po. Next reporter po.
DDB Drug Information Action Line. This program was launched in response to the public's increasing participation in anti-drug advocacy programs. The DDB Dial is a phone-based action center that was created to receive reports and compliance related to drug abuse. The personnel on the other hand can provide relevant information and assistance to public through the hotlines. Ang DDB Information Action Line ay isang action center na tumatanggap ng reklamo regarding to drug abuse para na din magbigay ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa publiko.
So, dumako naman tayo sa another major project ng launched by the DDB or the IDA-DIN, or also known as the Integrated Drug Abuse Database and Information Network, was launched actually in the Philippines on September 19, 2003 as part of the government's effort to combat drug abuse, which is, ang main purpose naman nito ay to establish a comprehensive and integrated database and information network on drug abuse. So, this also aim to support the evidence-based planning, the decision-making, and policy formulation related to drug abuse prevention and control. By in what way? By collecting, storing, managing, and disseminating data and information on drug abuse, treatment, rehabilitation, and related services. So the IDA-DIN also helps the government agencies, non-governmental organizations, and other stakeholders in coordinating and in implementing effective strategies to address drug abuse issues in the country. So isa pa sa mga major projects ng nag-launch ng DDB ay ang Barkada Kontra Droga or the Peer Group Against Drugs, na kung saan ang main purpose nito is to engage young people to drug abuse prevention efforts, which is these peer groups aims to create a supportive and empowering environment where the members can educate each other about the dangers of the drug abuse, making positive choices and resist pressure to use drugs. So additionally, by promoting positive influence and providing open discussions, Barkada Kontra Droga seeks to prevent drug abuse among young people and contribute to building a drug-free community. That's all po.